A big week at the comic shop this week. I got 11 new comics, with 2 of them being double-sized, and double-priced. That made for an expensive week at the comic shop. Here's the first one I got to show you, is the last issue of Volume 2 of Dark Horse Presents. That's issue 36. I'm a fan of anthologies. I have all of Volume 1 of DHP and all of Volume 2, and I'll start getting Volume 3 when it comes out. This is a nice cover. I think that's Mignola. Not even sure. I didn't see who... Didn't look up who drew it, but I like this one. Nice crazy ape in the background. Man in a Victorian outfit grabbing some sort of statue. Tentacles, a gun. What more can you ask? Well, we can ask for some Usagi Yojimbo and some Jaime Hernandez. Those are both in here, so this should be another pretty good issue. I've liked them all so far, and I'm sure I'll like this one. Next, we have Mind the Gap, issue number 17. I like this cover. A geisha girl or Chinese opera type cover, I'm not sure which. Lots of graphic design going on that. I think this is the alternate cover. I don't even know. It's just whichever one was in my pull list. Haven't seen an issue of Mind the Gap in a little while. I forget exactly where we left off with the story. Well, this is one of those books that kind of changed in the middle. In the beginning it was a locked room mystery type story, and then it evolved into more of a conspiracy type story, and I forget exactly where we are with this now, but I've been enjoying it since the beginning, and I'll continue to get it. Saga is also back this month with a really not very interesting cover. I guess it's supposed to be some sort of performer coming out of the fog on stage, since I see some stage lights there and fog behind her, but I find that costume with the giant shoulder pads less than inspired. The color doesn't thrill me, the drawing doesn't thrill me, so there's nothing about this cover that I like, but I think it's supposed to be a new sort of direction for Saga, so we'll see where the story goes. It's a book I like. Maybe not as much as everybody else out there likes Saga, but it's a good read. Give it a try. Next comes Deadpool number 28. This actually came out last week, but I was so distracted by my Jack Kirby Artist Edition that I forgot to pick it up. Deadpool isn't on my pull list, so I just picked the issues drawn by Scott Koblish off the shelf when they come out. They still had it this week, and I was still able to get it. I'm not sure what this one is about. The other ones that Scott Koblish has drawn were flashbacks to the 80s, 70s, 60s, and 50s, and were drawn in the style of those decades, so I think this one is current, so we'll see what style it's drawn in. The cover is pretty interesting, with killer balloons and ninjas. I still wish they'd get rid of that annoying red bar at the bottom of all these Marvel Now covers, but just another reason not to buy many Marvels. Undertow. Issue 4 of 6. This is that weird one about prehistoric people who lived under the sea, who are fighting each other and want to colonize the land. I was iffy about whether I wanted to continue this series, but I really liked issue 3, and I also found out there's only 6 issues to it, so I may as well keep going until I get to issue 6. Interesting cover. Once again, this is weird cover. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I like that blue and that guy there with his red eye leaking up top. All in all, I'd say if you like weird comics, pick up Undertow. And Here's Unity number 7. This is another one that might get cut off my list because I haven't been too fond of most of these Valiant books lately. I finally dropped Bloodshot off my list after last week's issue, which seemed to be exactly like an issue from 6 months ago. And the issue 6 of Unity was not particularly interesting. As a matter of fact, at the beginning of issue 6 of Unity, I started reading it, and I had to go back and look at issue 5 to see if I missed anything. Turned out I didn't miss anything. It was just a bit of bad storytelling. So this one hasn't been a thrill for me lately. But we'll see how this issue turns out, and they're coming out with some crossover called Armor Wars. We'll see how that turns out. Other than that, Valiant hasn't been that good to me lately. So we'll show you the next Valiant book on the list then. X-O Manowar number 25, double-sized issue. X-O Manowar has been kind of treading water lately story-wise. I think the problem with most of these Valiant books that I've been picking up for 20 or 25 issues is that all their main storylines have ended and they've kind of all served their purpose, and now they're trying to find some direction with them, and I don't think they found any direction yet. X-O Manowar started out as some guy 2,000 years ago who got some armor and was kidnapped into space, and he spent the whole time learning to use the armor and coming back to Earth to free his people. Now his people are free, he's got the armor, so what the heck does he do? I don't think they've figured out what the heck he does just yet, and so hence Armor Wars is coming, which pretty much the name tells you, or Armor Hunters, whatever the heck. Armor Wars was the Iron Man one from years ago, but it's pretty much the same thing. Some guys hunting down people in armor and trying to kill them, so we'll see how that goes. Next, we have Velvet. I've been enjoying this one thoroughly. What's his name? Steve Epting art has been very good, as well as the Brubaker writing. It's a period piece, a spy story from the late 60s, early 70s. Well done. I've enjoyed it. Some Cold War spy mysteries where there's one, the lead who's... Is her name Velvet? I don't even remember what her name is. You know, she was betrayed and set up by somebody, so now her own spy agency is after her. You know, the standard spy story, but well done. I like the fact that it's a period piece. It's very well drawn, though this cover doesn't particularly interest me. I guess it's supposed to be scary and violent, but it really just is kind of static and boring to me. But there's a lot of static, boring covers out there these days, but at least the insides are good, so give Velvet a read if you're looking for a fun Cold War spy piece. Let us continue with East of West. But here we go with another. I don't know what's with these mainly graphics covers that are just boring. I mean, I don't even know what that image is up there. It's like a piece of wood with spatter on it. It's a good thing these comics are good and they're on my pull list, because if they depended on this cover to sell me this comic, I would never ever buy it in a million years. But the book is good. Takes place in some alternate future where there's all these weird people who run countries and have some sort of strange powers that aren't always defined, are trying to stop a big war, inevitable war from coming that has something to do with prophecy and the Four Horsemen and the Bible and whatever else they want to throw in there. You know, no matter how you cut it, it's well written and well drawn. Just doesn't have good covers. So check out East of West if you like strange stories of people trying to stop wars and Death trying to find his child and the Four Horsemen coming back and beating armies in China, and I don't even know how to describe it anymore. But I like it. Ghosted, number 10, easier to describe. Man hunts down supernatural stuff even though he doesn't care much for supernatural stuff. Puts together a team, hunts down supernatural stuff. Secret organizations are after him, so it's, supernatural and meets James Bond kind of thing. I like it. Decent cover. At least it tells us a little bit of a story with a man being afraid of a bird as he stands on a giant rock in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes I don't know what people are doing with these covers, but it's not easy to make a cover. So anyway, Ghosted, I think this wraps up its second story arc. You can pick up the first story arc in trade paperback. I think I've liked this second story arc better than the first one. The first one was a little more straightforward, with a bunch of people going into a haunted house trying to capture a ghost. This one is more twisty-turny, with him having to infiltrate some secret organization while another secret organization is on his tail, sort of thing. Give Ghosted a try. It's a good book. And finally, we have Ordinary number 1. I have no idea what this book is about. I didn't know it was coming out. I don't hear much about Titan Comics. I think they're English. But I'm a fan of the artist Disraeli. I read a couple of things that I think Dark Horse published by him that were War of the Worlds related. I cannot remember what the name of the book was, but I really liked his art in it. I like his coloring. So I saw this one, flipped through it, liked it, and said, you know what, I'm going to pick up the first issue of Ordinary. I have no idea who the writer is, Rob Williams, but it's got an interesting cover there. I guess it's about an ordinary guy who does some plunging with a plunger. I'll let you know how it is. So we'll talk to you later, YouTube. Over and out.